Hi, welcome to Simply Narelle Stitches and my newest Flosstube. I have no idea what number it is and I always forget to look it up, but anyway, it is Monday the 23rd of June and I'm just going to do a really quick Flosstube today, showing you what I've worked on in the last, I don't know, is it 2 and a little bit weeks I think it's been, and also draw or reveal the winners of my 500 subscriber little giveaway that I had. Go through my plans, of which there's not a great deal, and some new releases in my Etsy store coming up soon. Alright, so I think I have like 14 whips to share. I got a lot of stitching done. I didn't add it all up, but I seem to be doing big numbers every day. So I'm really happy about that. I don't think I missed a day. I stitched every single day. So yeah, hopefully see some good progress on my whips. So the first one up was Floral Blush Profile. This is a Lynart kit. And sorry, you're not going to see my face again this week. I don't know. I might keep to this style. I don't know. It takes the pressure off of trying to make myself half decent. And yeah, I've got chest pains today. Anxiety's a bitch. Anyway, so I'm just not up to facing the camera, but I wanted to get this done. I didn't want to leave it too long. So it is what it is. If this is not your style, then there's hundreds of others you can go watch. So anyway, this is by Lynart, Floral Blush Profile. This is a really old kit, and it's probably one of my oldest whips that I have. I know it's sort of, there's a whole bunch of them that I bought in the 90s that I'm still chugging along doing, and they weren't given much love at all for quite some time, but now I'm determined to try and get them done. So sorry, nothing's ironed, everything's just as I put it in the bag when I finish stitching, and I'll put before photos up as I go along so that you can see where I was. And here is where it is now. So I got a lot done on this one, as you can see. Love it. I actually got 1,984 stitches done on this, and I used this for the June Focus event and the Beat the Mod Min event in Whip Warriors group. And the challenges in the Whip Warriors group are keeping me so motivated at the moment because they're easy. There's no real, there's no stitch counts needed except for, they tell you roughly, you know, like for categories, 100 to 200 stitches. Scavenger Hunt, there's 300 stitches, but there's no, like, some of the groups I'm in, there's like challenges like do 1,000 stitches on yellow, and it's like, well, I don't know if I've got a whip that I've got 1,000 stitches in yellow and whether they're all close enough that I'm not gonna do a huge miscount to try and reach them all, sort of thing. So I really like how their challenges are structured, and there's no pressure at all, so I really am enjoying them, and it's got me stitching again a lot, obviously. So that is what I've done. I think I worked on like all this, did all this, so that's a whole lot of stitching, sorry. And yeah, there's still a whole lot of flower to go, but I'm actually really enjoying stitching on this one at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how far I can get it this year. So that's the first one. And I really need to overlock the edge of this before I end up losing a lot of the fabric. I mean, it's not fraying too bad, but it does need to be dealt with. The next one, Amazing Animal Kingdom, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Amy Stewart, and I am so sorry, but this is, this is my picture. It's just the first page printed out. Not enlarged or anything, and it's not oh sorry, what's the word, you know, when they put it in the heat thingy and it shrink wrap, what's it called, oh, laminated, that's the word. It's not laminated, it's not enlarged, nothing like that. But yeah, anyway, so this one I used for categories. Now the categories for the month of June, the letters were Z, D and E, and the prompt was near water. I actually used it for a few prompts. Near or in water. So I did D for dolphin. Seasonal or celebration, I did E for Earth Day, because this has lots of animals on it and Earth has lots of animals, so that's how I tied that in. And then for the prompt favorite things, Z for zebra, because like zebra's not my favorite thing, but anyway, you know, you have to make it work. So I'd already used D for dolphin, couldn't use that again. And then the most obvious thing, which started with Z, D or E, was zebra. So I used it for that. And I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Goodness. And I did a total of 623 stitches for those 3 prompts. So categories, it's between, they say roughly, you know, do 100 to 200 stitches per prompt. So, and that is where I'm at now. Hopefully I'll put the before photo up. I'll just move my needle minder out of the way. So yeah, a long way to go on this, but I'm hoping that if I keep it still enough, I can zoom in on it so you can get a closer view. I don't use pre-gridded fabric, only because I bought a bolt of 25 count even weave, plain, and I'm just working through that. So it's nearly finished and I'm going to have to buy more soon. But it wasn't pre-gridded, so I'm sort of, if I feel I need to grid, I'm just using a pencil and gridding as I go. So a lot of times I don't grid. I don't think there's many that I have actually gridded, and that's probably why I have errors and I miscount things. Like down here somewhere there's something really wrong, but I thought in the big scheme of thing, like this has, I don't know how many stitches. Oh, sorry. But it's 700 by 535. So, and where I am here is just a itty bitty bit up here. Like it's not even that first row. I think each row is like broken into 2 pages down, you know what I mean? So I'm up here. So if there's an error up here, then it's not going to be seen. It's not going to be obvious, I'm hoping. And when I get to the page break is when I correct my errors. So from the new page I start afresh and any errors are not carried over, if that makes sense. So that's the Amazing Animal Kingdom. And then the next one, sorry if you have headphones on and those zippers are annoying, but I don't want to lose things out of bags, so whoops. Oh no. Okay, so this is a bag within a bag because there's 2 projects in here. So this next one is the Raven Queen. Oh my goodness. Oh, what a mess, by Mirabilia. And this I used for categories, colour, and I did D for duckling because, no, that's not the right one, because I'm using a Cottage Garden threads when, for some of this colour in the dress, I'm using duckling. I didn't want to buy the specialty threads when I already have colours that I can make work. And it's like a bluey, tealy colour in the dress. And I went, well, duckling is going to work for that. So that's what I'm using. And that's the D in the colour for duckling. Now, I'm going to try and not show this chart because I'm in a bit of a mess. Somewhere in here is the project. There we go. The other 2, I keep forgetting to mention the fabric. Well, Amazing Animal Kingdom is 25 count even weave 1/1. And the Lynart one is on the kit linen 2/2, whatever that is. And this is Raven Queen. Hopefully the before photo is up. And I don't know if I have anything to tell me what I'm stitching it on. I do. Sorry about the wrinkle crinkle. But that is where I'm at. And I think I did a lot of this. I worked on a lot of this. And I did, I don't know if I already told you this, 532 stitches. And I'm using a Fabric of the Month from Paddock Lane Designs. Olivine is the colour. It's a beautiful motley grey. I love it. It's from November 23. And I think it's a 28 count or 32 count linen. I'm not sure because I can't see the corner where it's at. I probably need to get this into its own project bag and out of that plastic bag. Hey, what's it on? It's on, she normally writes on the corners, but there we go. It's a 28 count linen, so very nice. Love her fabrics. I do need to get some more, but you know, it all comes down to money, doesn't it? Oh, so anyway, oh yes, I need to get this in its own project bag out of that plastic bag. Okay, next is Crimwell Lady. Now this is a really old one as well. Started this in, I don't know when, for a Magazine Monthly Facebook group challenge. This is what she's going to look like in the end. Oh my gosh, that is so falling apart. This is done on a 25 count even weave 2/2. And I did this for categories for the prompt related to humans, and I did D for dress, and that is where I am now. And I worked up here, the top of her dress and her face, so not a lot to do, just I got to finish her head and her hat and her umbrella. And then I think there's a little bit more to do on this like garden here, and then there's all these flowers around the edge, and then a heap of back stitching, because on her dress she has all these back stitched flowers and pattern, so there's a lot of back stitching this one. So I just got like her head, face, hair, bonnet and umbrella, whatever you call it, and the tree here to finish, so, and all that around the edge. These are no small feats, these magazine pieces. You think it's from a magazine, it's like, oh, it's not too bad, it's not too big. Oh my gosh, this is big. So anyway, that's Crimwell Lady. Did I say how many I got in her? 500. 500 stitches in her. She's one I'm trying to get done this year. Whoops, just break everything on my desk. Alright, next is Gulping Partners. And this was a kit by Elsa Williams, artwork by Elsa Williams. I don't know who the kit is actually by, or is that an Elsa Williams kit? I don't know, but anyway. So they're the two. I'm doing them together on the one piece of fabric, whatever came in the kit, because it's big enough to do both, obviously, and you cut them apart and then frame them separately. I'm doing them together. This I used for this categories prompt of man-made, and I did D for driver because a driver is a type of golf club. So that's what that is. That's well, that's not a driver, that looks like an iron of some sort. But a driver is a type of golf club. And that is what, well, that's where I am. I'm sorry if it's hard to see because I've got like the project bag underneath causing a lump, but I mainly work down here on the grass, or the dirt or whatever is beneath him. And I did, oh, I actually didn't write down how many stitches I did for this one. I think it was around 500. Oh, I did 500 stitches which a lot of these down here are half stitches, so these ones in the middle are full crosses, but these ones down here are all half, so it's probably, you know, closer to 700 half crosses, and then the full crosses in the middle. Yeah. So that is that one. Sorry, I'm going through them quite fast because I'm not feeling that great. And I've had 2 people walk up to my door wanting to speak to me, so anyway, they have to take their turn. Next, we have Maria de Campardi, 1896. I'm pretty sure this is by Leela's Studio. And I'll take it out of the plastic bag so it doesn't glare. It doesn't need to be in the plastic bag. Alright, so this I am doing on a piece of 28 count fabric by Paddock Lane Designs from June 23 Fabric of the Month Club, and the colour is Coral Beach. And this one I used for this category's prompt of travel. So I did E for European Village because the scene in the middle for this one is a little European village. So, and it's an Italian sampler, I think. Sampler. Maria de Campardi is Italian. So again, that's in Europe. And the before photo hopefully is already up. And this one I did 500 stitches in, and I think it goes this way. Right, so this one, oh dear. This one I did more on in total, but I only recorded 500 because as I'm stitching along, I'm looking at some of this and I'm going, why does it look really different to the chart? Like here, it just looked really the wrong color. So this like light aqua color was a really dark, I think it was like 500 or something, and it was really dark green, like a dark teal, and I'm going, that looks nothing like that. That is so much lighter. So I also noticed that here between this blue and the maroon I had like a tanny color, and I'm going, hang on, that is just really wrong. So I looked at the tanny color and went, oh, I've used the wrong color there, because the symbols were really close. I think it was like, oh, I don't want to show the chart, but I don't know if I have, oh, I can't. One was an arrow going one way and an arrow going the other way, and I looked at the wrong arrow and then chose the wrong color. Well, I looked at the key and chose the wrong arrow. I think I just looked at the thing and went, oh, that's an arrow going sideways, and then when I looked at the key, I didn't realize there was one going one way, one going the other way, and I chose the wrong color. So I unpicked that and redid that. And then this dark green was worrying me, so I had a look at the chart again and went, no, I'm actually using the right color. Like the chart says this color, and that's what I was using, but it was so much darker. I thought, that is not right. It's meant to be this really like a shadow look here. So I jumped on Leela's Studio website, I went to their corrections, and lo and behold, it was charted wrong. It had to be 505 or something, a different color, lighter color. So then I unpicked all that and then had to restitch it, and then I went, yeah, that's much better. So yeah, even though I did 500 stitches, it probably would have been more like 700 or more in the end by the time I did the unpicking and then had to restitch. But I couldn't leave it, it was just too dark. So anyway, that is where that one is, and I'm a sucker for a good border, and the reason I bought this chart was for this border. Absolutely love the border. So yeah. Anyway, so that's that one. Okay. Next was a Stitching Shelf by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven Earth Designs. I have not stitched on this one for a couple of years, so this is what it looks like, and I'm sure you've all seen it a million times. Alright, so this one I used for the categories prompt of leisure, and I said E for embroidery. So cross stitch is a form of embroidery, so that's how I got away with that one. Like, I'm hoping they accept these prompts when it's graded, but you know, I made them work. In my head they work. And the before photo hopefully is already up. And this is where I am. So I worked over here. I finished off, there was a heap of ninja stitches over here I needed to do, down here and over here. So I did them, and then that was a page finish, and now I'm on to the next page. And this one I did 909 stitches. So all the ninja stitches in there and all these was 909 stitches. And yes, there's errors in here, but you're not going to know in the end. Sorry. You know, when it's all said and done and you can see it in its entirety, no one's going to pick up what the errors are. We just make it work and we go for it. So I'm really liking this. This is done on 18 count Aida. This is my very first full coverage that I started, and it's massive. The fabric is massive, but I'm not going to restart it on 25 count 1/1 because I've got too much done. So there we go. I love this one. And I have bought some more fabric holders. They're on their way from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I need to refold this in a different way. That's not going to fit very well. Because of the amount of fabric on this, it is really hard to wrangle it. And so like when I put it in the clear snap to stitch on it, I like it to be in there for the full days of stitching, because it's just too hard to take it on and off all the time. But I bought more of these. So I got these from the Fat Quarter Shop, or no, I got these from Marianne at Exquisite Cross Stitch a few years ago. And they're really long and stretchy. Now I did buy some online that I thought were long and stretchy, but they are actually really little. Where are they? Because I'm hopeless at buying things online, and this is what they came as, and like they hold jack nothing. And the magnets are strong-ish, but like if you stretch them and then try and hold, it doesn't, they're not strong enough to hold if this middle bit is stretched, and they hold nothing. So anyway, that was my failed online purchase. So I got these off Marianne, and they are amazing. And yeah, really strong and excellent. So, and as you can see, they're quite long, so they hold a lot of fabric. So love these. And I asked her to get me some more in, but they're going to take a while because she's going to wait till she gets enough to order from overseas, because the delivery is expensive. But lucky for me, I've been asked by the Fat Quarter Shop to participate in one of their stitch alongs coming up, and if you're on Instagram you would have already seen me post about that. So because I'm overseas, they don't send me the supplies to do the stitch along like they do for other people in the States, so they send me a gift card. So I used that gift card to buy more of those, which was a bonus. Talking about Fat Quarter Shop, I had a new start, and this is from It's So Emma, and it's called Rudolph, and I use this for the category prompt of magical or mystical, because Santa's reindeers are a mythical fairy tale legend type of thing. So I use this for Dasher and Dancer in and Donna in Santa's mythical magical story. And the good thing about Whip Warriors is I'm doing the Swiwi, what do you call it, variety, I guess, where you can stitch what you want when you want, which includes any new starts. The other options are, I think it's 25 and 25, so you just choose 25 projects to work on, and you're not allowed any new starts. That's too limiting for me. I stitch on what I want when I want, so Swiwi is perfect, which means for any prompts I can do a new start. And this is my new start. That's the start of Rudolph. His ear, the start of his hair. So there's my Rudolph start, and I did 744 stitches in him, and this is on a piece of 18 count Aida that I dyed myself. Yeah, I needed a dark grey or a black charcoaly colour for the stitch along, so I dyed 2 pieces, and one for this and one for the stitch along. So I can't show the stitch along yet. It starts on the 1st of July. I will link below the Fat Quarter Shop so that you can, I think they put out on the 16th maybe. I think they put out the requirements for it if you wanted to get your fabric and floss and everything sorted for it. So I'll link that below. But yes, there we go. So that is Rudolph, a new start. And he's in such a good project bag, isn't he? Anyway. Okay, next we have Angel Kisses. Now this one I used for the prompt designer name and its dimensions. So hopefully I can get away with that because it probably wasn't designed by dimensions. It's designed by Sandra Cuck, but I'm saying it's dimensions. So hopefully they let that fly. This, it was a kit, an old kit. I think this is my oldest one. And this one I used, I already said that, for the designer name. And I got into this one 552 stitches. So I worked up here. That's the one angel's hands, and that's the other angel's hand coming up, or arm coming up there. So I worked on her arms and hand there, and that's his hand coming up there. And then that's up into a little bit of her neck, I think. So then next, I think I might finish her off and then do him. I've got a lot of him to do in his head, and then work on the wings. There's a whole lot still to do on this. Oh, this is never ending, this project. My goodness. Yes, so there we go. Angel Kisses. I'm sorry if you can hear my dog. I know what he's barking at. Right, only a few more to go. Next is Emily Monroe Quilt, and this was for this category's prompt of chart title, so E for Emily Monroe. This is by Rosewood Manor, and this is not a great photo. I made a working copy of the chart, and that is what it looks like. And there's a lot of work in this. Oi, oi, oi. And this one, I couldn't have been feeling it or something, because I did a bare minimum on this one. 152 stitches. And this is on, it's a piece of linen. It is Belfast linen, 32 count in the colour Ecru. And this is where I am. So I worked just on this little pot here, and I'd already started the little pot, but I finished it off and then did the flowers and the back stitching, and then I went, oh look, that's over 100 stitches. That'll do for tonight. So something about this one I wasn't feeling. I don't know what it was, whether it was all the little color changes, I don't know, but I did bare minimum on this one. But at least it got touched, like it got worked on. So it's 152 stitches closer to a finish out of all them. So that's a lot of work in there. Oh my goodness. I seem to have so many big projects. Next we have another new start. Yay! So this is Coffee Break by Shannon Christine Designs. And all these already, the new starts were already in my stash. I didn't go and buy anything new for a prompt. It's what I already have in my stash. And this is coffee break, like I said. And I use this for the Scavenger Hunt. Now, Scavenger Hunt is a year-long challenge in Whip Warriors, and there's going to be 100 items in total, and you have to find those items in your charts. You don't have to necessarily stitch on that item, but the item has to be in your chart that you're stitching on, or a real-life object of that item. So the prompt was coffee, so I have coffee here, and I decided to start it. And I'm just using a piece of 14 or 16 count. I don't know if this is 14 or looks like a 16 count. It's not 18 count, is it? I think it's 16 count cream aider I had in my stash. So I stitched the coffee cup and did 494 stitches. Yeah. So I love having lots of variety of charts that I have, because for a lot of things I can normally find a prompt, and I'm slowly getting fabric for each one. So when I get fabric in, which is not that often, but when I do get fabric in, I immediately try and match it to a chart. So then I know that, you know, if the prompt comes up or I feel like stitching it, then I have the fabric and I can start it straight away. So that was a new start. Alright, next we have Santa Comes to Town by Stitchrovia, Emma Condon. And this was for Christmas in June event. And I actually have a finish. Woohoo! Look at that. I have a finish. Look at this. So this was an unexpected finish. I did not think I was going to finish this. I just picked one of my Christmas whips. I don't actually have that many Christmas whips on the go, but I didn't feel like starting something new, and I had this one, and I went, well, I'm just going to use this one for the event, and the event is still going. I think it goes for a few more days. Finishes tomorrow maybe, but I finished it. I went, that's it, nice and easy, done. I worked on this, I think it was 2 days, and I put in a total of 2,587 stitches to get it finished. I was trying to finish it, what's today? I was trying to finish it Saturday night, but I had, I think, these last 4 houses to do, the smoke on sort of these houses down, and it got to like 1 AM, and I went, oh no, I really need to go to bed. Like, I can't keep going. I was starting to get really tired and thought, no, I can push through and get it done. And I'm glad I didn't in the end, because when I stitched on it yesterday and finished it, it took me a few hours to do these houses, because there's lots of colour changes here and the smoke and stuff. I thought I would have been up to like 3 or 4 trying to get this done. So I'm glad I didn't push on, and I finished it yesterday, and I'm very happy with that. I love her designs. She is amazing with her words, the way, the different fonts, how she makes it all work, and oh, I just love it. Amazing. Yeah, so really happy with that. So that's one off my whip list, but obviously with my other 2 new starts, the whip list number has not come down. It's actually increased. And then last one, which was another new start. So yeah, finish 1, start 3. I don't know. Is that normal? Now this one was for the Scavenger Hunt prompt of handbag. That's the one I started, but the one I used for the prompt, because I'm doing them all on the one piece of fabric. So this is the Snowman Collector Series by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is the one I used for the handbag prompt, because that is a handbag. Now I know Sue, the one who has organised this game and grades it, has seen my prompt because she commented on other ones that I'd put up what I was going to use for them since then, and has told me that they won't work. I've got to find something different, but which means she didn't comment on this one, so she must have seen it and thought it was okay. So yeah, because one of them, I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been, oh, I didn't write it down. Oh, I didn't write it down. One of them, the prompt was banana. I think it must have been one of the Amazing Animal Kingdom ones, I think. Or it was the Stitching Shelf. One of them, the prompt was banana. And I went through all my charts. I got nothing with a banana in it. So I thought, oh, hang on, I've got bananas in the fruit bowl. So I stuck a banana on the my starting photo and went, yep, that'll do, because you can include a real life object. So even though banana's not in the chart, I had a banana in the picture. So that works. So anyway, I'm doing this series all in one. And because of that, I started the border. And that is how I got away with actually stitching on the first one, but using the border as my stitches. So I did 979 stitches on this, but for Scavenger Hunt I only needed 300. So what I did for Scavenger Hunt was I stopped after, oh gosh, I really should have sorted this out. I stopped after I did the border, took the photo, and that was my Scavenger Hunt completion. And then I carried on stitching the first one, which is the Needleworker, just to get a bit of progress on it. I didn't want to stop just at the border, but I probably should have, because I stuffed up. But anyway, so this is 18 count Ada that I dyed myself, and I wanted a tanny colour, and it's going to work. It's a massive piece, but anyway, you know, it is what it is. So that is my progress. Now, the border they give you on a separate sheet you can download from their website is all these little white 4 stitches, clumps of 4 stitches. And I did it correctly, as in I did the right amount across and down, and then I'd done it across here. And then I was going to take a photo because I was really excited that my border met up, and I went, no, well, it didn't meet up, because between each of these little sets of 4 stitches there is 2 empty ones. And when I got to this corner, sorry, there was only 1. I went, no, how does that work? I've got it lined up here perfectly. So I had to go back along here, and way back here I actually had 3 spaces between 2 of those sets of stitches. So I had to unpick and then redo, and I went, okay, I'm happy about that. That meets up, that looks good. So then I started in the middle and I'm stitching away, and I thought, I just want to make sure that I have this correct. So it's not up too far or down too far, and it's not across too far. So I wanted to go all the way down to the bottom and all the way across to the left. Got all the way down to the bottom, and I couldn't fit the bottom row of stitching in. It ran into that first little, I'll have to zoom in so you can see it, but the first little stitch there, my last row was going to go over those that were along here. So I went, well, I've stuffed up somewhere. I know this is right and that was right, but I must have started this down 1 stitch too low. So when I was doing my counting and I did my start, sorry, I came down just one lousy stitch too low, and it ran into the border. So I had to pull all that out, and now my plan is going to be, going forward, to only do, so when I go on to number 2, so I know, sorry, I'll keep going on that way I was going. I went all the way across the left. I know it now is correct on the left, which theoretically it should be correct on the right. But what I am going to do is continue this along all the way to the right, just so that I know that this is correct. And then I'm going to go all the way to the top and make sure that is correct. And then I can fill the rest in once I know it fits within that border. Then going forward, when I come to doing the second one, I'm going to just do the top border, stitch the piece, then do the right hand border, and then continue along in that vein. When I've done the top row, I will come back and do that bottom border. And then when I onto the next row, I'll just do the left hand border, stitch the piece, do the border. Hopefully I can make it work that these all match up, but if they become off skewed because I've got one too far across to the right, then it's not going to bother me that these are out of alignment. I'll just go, well, that's how I wanted it to look. I didn't want it nice and even anyway. We'll see. That's the plan with this one. So yeah, now I do have the Woodland series, which was the first one before this, but I haven't started that. I did dye a second piece of fabric though, so the same, so I can start that one whenever the mood hits, or if a prompt comes up that one of those animals will suit, then I can do the same thing. And I'll do the border the same way. I'll just do the left and the top and then stitch the first animal to make sure that it fits. Okay, the last thing I'm stitching, which I'm not going to show you the photo of it, just to let you know that I was stitching it, is my August bag of the month stitch. So every month for the project bag of the month, I provide a cross stitch chart. Sometimes it's a kit from Dimensions, or a chart from someone else that I will buy enough copies of for everyone, or I design it myself. So August I've already designed and I've started stitching. You've got to try and guess what that is. I'm not going to tell you. But anyway, that is that. And what else? Alright, so I'm going to go through now a few releases, hopefully coming to my shop in a few weeks. And then well, tell you who won my drawing. So I've got all these big plans for my shop. Like, if you're not aware, I make project bags. And all the project bags you saw me pull projects out of are all mine. And I've got lots of other ideas running in my head of things I want to make to sell as well. But time and, you know, actually feeling confident enough to try new things is another matter. So over the weekend I went, I'm just going to try a few things. If they work, they work. They don't, they don't. So I've got a few prototypes. The first one here is a stitching mat. So this came about because I see people, don't look at that, that's really crooked. This is just a really rough one. This is mine. I see people at retreats talking about stitching mats or retreat mats, just to save their space basically and protect their project from things that might be on the dirty table, whatever, and more just to say, hey, this is my space, get off, like you got your own space. So I made my first stitching mat, and I actually use this in my stitching spot. It fits perfectly because I stitch at my desk where my laptop is. So I all have a big blotter, like a big bit of paper on my desk, notepad that I'm always writing notes on and stuff like that. And my biggest fear is that, you know how sometimes the pens get the gluggy bit on the end, that some of that is going to be on my notepad, and I'm going to get that on my cross stitch. So I thought, well, I'm going to bite the bullet, make a mat, put it in my stitching spot for when I stitch, and I tell you what, it is brilliant. I also don't have the problem now of when I put my scissors down on my table, it's a table like this, that it's noisy. So and my dog is really sensitive and sometimes he'll bark at that. So this has solved that problem as well, and I love it. So my question to you is this a good size? So I think it's like 18 by 22 inches, something like that. I think this is a good size. It's not too big, it's not too small. And do you want anything on there? Like, if you were to buy a mat, a stitching mat for your spot, or a retreat mat or whatever, do you want like a pocket? Do you want like an inbuilt thread bed section? Do you want a simple mat like this so that you can add whatever you want, like put whatever you want on there. I have a tray with all my bits and bobs that I sit on here, and I have my scissors and my pencil, because I mark off my charts with pencil, and it just works brilliant as a holder for everything and a protection. So I have no mechanism to keep it together or to tie it together, because it simply just folds, and it gives me the flexibility of folding it small like this to fit in a bag, a project bag, or I can just fold it in half and shove it to one side of my table. If I wanted to, you know, I could roll it up and make it fit smaller. It is very flexible. So, you know, I could tuck that in a side pocket of a bag. So I didn't want to put a closing mechanism on it, because I wanted them flexible enough for you to be able to use, fold, put away however you want. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing I played around with was a little Ort container. So these are collapsible, and they just have the little clasp things, rivet, what are they called? Snaps, that's what they're called, in the corner. Alright, and it folds flat, and it's good for traveling or shoving in your project bag, and then you just simply snap the corners together. This is a prototype, so I have a few little tweaks to make on this, and then it just folds up. You just sort of put your finger in there, make a little square out of it, and it's nice and light, and you just pop your threads in there or whatever you want. And I thought, well, if people are interested in these, I could make these and sell these. They could match project bags or the stitching mats or whatever. And then someone commented on my Instagram post, it'd be really good if you could attach these to your mat as well. So that could be an option. So you could have the mat and Ort container combination. Where I would put it, I don't know. You have to tell me where you think it would go, because I'd have to put the snap on the mat, and then you'd snap that to the mat. Some people would probably want it at the top, some people might want it in the corner, some people might want it in the middle, some people might not want it attached at all. So any thoughts on that? Let me know. So there you go. There are a few things that I'm going to be working on. Now I say in the next few weeks, but you know, that depends on health and other things. So we will see. We will see. I've got a few cross stitches coming as well. One I need to make into a pillow. I'll show it now. I just need to make it into a pillow and then get the chart fixed. So this is an past exclusive chart for a Project Bag of the Month club, and I've done this on 25 count even weave 2/2, so it is quite big, but you could do it a lot smaller. And I'm just going to make this into a pillow and then pop that onto my Etsy store as a chart. I've got a mushroom biscornu done, a Christmas pillow done. These are all old charts from my past club bags. So yeah, they're coming. Right, so I think that is it. I'm not going to show you July's one. It's done, ready to be finished, like to be fully finished. But I'm not going to show you that. I'm going to make you wait. Okay, so who won my 500 subscriber little mini celebration? Here we go. I had 3 charts on offer. First one was this, well, I don't know what order they were in, but collector, cross stitch collector. It was by the Primitive Hair, a Nashville exclusive kit 2022. It is just the chart, and the winner of this is Samantha Fry 5849. Now Samantha, I think I've got your address. I know I've got your address, but can you please email me? The email address is in the box below, just so that I can be sure it's the same Samantha Fry that I think it is. Next we have Token of Love, and this is the chart only. Again, this one, hopefully that's not glary. This one I did mark off with pencil, but I rubbed out the pencil, so it should still be all legible. And this one goes to Megan Egerton 2805. So if you could please email me your address as well, that would be amazing. And then the last one was my Cooktown Orchid pattern that I stitched. So it's just the chart and the thread sorter, and the winner of this is Felice-HC2DH. Felice HC2DH. If you could please email me your postal address as well, and I'll get them in the mail as soon as I can. Congratulations everyone on winning those charts. I hope that you will enjoy stitching them as much as I did. And that is it for today. So thank you. Oh no, my plans. Alright, well, my plans are simple, really, not much in them. I'm gonna keep working on my August bag of the month project, and just doing a couple of events in Whip Warriors, which is the Scavenger Hunt, continuing with that, and the Strident Sale. Now the Strident Sale is you have a stitch along and you spend I think the event goes for 4 days or something, and you just stitch all you can on that sale. So everyone, you know, pick whatever sale you want to do, and it doesn't have to be the same one each month, but just get as much progress on those sales that you've fallen behind on and get them up to date or whatever. So I'll be doing that one as well. And then come July, there will be a new categories out with new letters and a few other new events coming up. So I'll go through them obviously on the next video. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for visiting. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe and hit that notify bell so you know when my next video comes out. And I'll see you on the next one. Until then, happy stitching and take care. Bye bye.